I had to get to a point where I was like, no more, you know, like I've decided I'm not going to play small anymore. I'm not going to play it safe. I'm not going to shrink myself.
What can I do when a million things are running through? Million things I can't undo. I just sleepwalk, I just sleep talk. That's all I got. What can I say with a million things I can't erase? Million people
I got my golden milk, got my little selenite wand, doing a little energy cleansing before I come speak to y'all. If you guys are new here, my name is Kelsey. I make videos here on YouTube about personal development, self-development, self-help, self-love, all the self things. And I also own an online crystal shop that I host weekly live sales from on my Instagram account. So if you are into crystals, be sure to come check me out. I wanted to talk today about how I deal with limiting thoughts, like limiting beliefs. In my case, a lot of my limiting beliefs are rooted in fear of like going after my goals, fear of moving forward. I feel like I've come a long way. Here are some takeaways for how I overcome limiting beliefs. So the first one is I became uncomfortable with the status quo. Around like mid 2020, I, like many people, because of what, you know, was going on in the world, I looked around and just wasn't really happy with my situation. You know, I had a job working as an esthetician. I was making really good money. I had a really cute apartment, really had no complaints. I looked around and I was like, this is, you know, it's cool, but this is not what I want for my life. What am I doing? And how can I change in a way that's gonna like be more in alignment with what I want in here? When I had that realization was when I started to think less in a limiting way and more in a possibility way, if that makes sense. Like I started to think, what are the possibilities for my life? What can I go out here and achieve? How can I take this current situation and create like a better environment, like a better setup for my life, you know? The next thing is that I decided to stop playing small. I think the key word in that is decided, because you really realize at a certain point in life that like generally the places you find yourself in life are because of the choices that you've made that have led you there. And for me, I have always had this feeling of like I'm meant to do something more. Like I'm meant to help a lot of people. That desire, that thing that is pulling at me and telling me that like I'm meant for something bigger than myself, made me realize that like I gotta stop playing small. For most of my 20s, I was like running around like trying my hands at like different careers, trying to figure out what it is I wanted to do. And I a lot of times played it safe. Being a content creator, being a YouTuber has been a desire of mine for over a decade, since I started this channel like in 2009. And all those jobs or careers that I was trying out took me further and further away from what I really wanted to do. Because at the time I just couldn't, it didn't resonate that like this could be a lifestyle that actually pays me, that, you know, I absolutely love. Like I wouldn't allow myself to think that big. And, you know, for a lot of people, it's a ton of YouTubers out here now, right? Hindsight, I look back and I'm like, dang, had I just stuck with my goals, I would have made it by now. You know, I could be doing this full time and supporting myself, but like I shrank myself, right? I shrank my goals, my talent. I shrank my dreams, really. And so I had to get to a point where I was like, no more, you know, like I've decided I'm not going to play small anymore. I'm not going to play it safe. I'm not going to shrink myself. I'm not going to put myself in jeopardy of not going after what makes me happy, and content creation is what makes me happy. So you got to kind of like look around in your life and ask yourself, like, are there areas where you're playing it safe, where you're shrinking? And it could be for someone else's benefit. Like I feel like we shrink for a lot of reasons, right? Like some of it is for stability. Some of it is because of comfort. Some of it is for someone else's like desires for your life or trying to please other people. So it was one of those things I really had to look around and ask, like, am I actually living for myself, or am I allowing myself to shrink? The next one is I chose the path I always wanted. I feel like these kind of go hand in hand, but just to reiterate, you know, like I wanted to do YouTube. I'm finally doing YouTube. I had to make the choice. And, you know, for me personally, it's come with a lot of sacrifice. Even though I'm not where I want to be yet, I've never been happier in my like adult life. Through all of the things I've tried, through all of the jobs I've had, through everything I've done in my life, I've never been happier than I am when I'm creating videos, when I'm creating content. And so, yeah, I had to make that decision. I had to make the choice. I had to put my foot down and say, I'm not going to shrink, and this is what I'm going to do. The next one is I got educated and found indirect mentors. I'm going out and seeking the knowledge, right? Like I want to make it on YouTube. I want to monetize on YouTube. And so I'm going out here and I'm, you know, consuming all of the content that is on YouTube about making it on YouTube. I'm like reading articles, I'm listening to podcasts. On top of that, you know, I have a lot of fear. I have a lot of worry. And so I read books to help me with that. I talk a lot on my channel about like how I'm constantly decluttering. I'm constantly like trying to build good habits. And so everything that I consume outside of like Netflix, is about those things that I'm working towards, right? And so I think that it's important to fill your mind with those things, like feed your brain. If there's information that you need in order to get to where you want to be, you have to get it. You have to go out and get the information. You don't just sit back and wait for it to come find you, because that's not how life works. And then what I mean by finding indirect mentors is, in the past, I would feel like I needed someone to like have conversations with, to bounce ideas off of, and you know, to an extent, like having that would be great. But you can also you know, find people who you resonate with and study them, right? Study their techniques, listen to the content that they're putting out. I'm trying to understand like Instagram marketing. And so I came across on YouTube, her name is Vanessa Yall, and she talks a lot about like online marketing, social media marketing, online business, those things. I haven't had any conversations with her. We're not friends or anything. And so I refer to her as like an indirect mentor. You know, same thing for the books I read. If, you know, the author has like an active social media or a newsletter that goes out like every week or whatever, I'll subscribe to the newsletter, because I want, you know, I appreciate the knowledge this person shares into the world, and I want to maintain a connection with their teachings. So that's what I mean by like find your indirect mentors, because when you, relating this to limiting beliefs, when you fill your mind with the right information, you start to see what's possible, right? Your brain goes from thinking like, this is not attainable, you don't have what it takes to do this, to, okay, now I have this information. Now I'm starting to see the path that I have to take. I can see the next step. You know, this information that I'm consuming is getting me to come up with like new ideas for how to move forward. And so, you know, the more information you have, the more equipped you are to navigate your goals. So get you some indirect mentors and get you some education on whatever it is you're trying to achieve. Next one. I visualize and believe a better way is attainable. Let's say your goal is to like buy a beach house in the Bahamas. Visualize yourself in your all white bed sheets, waking up to a cup of delicious Blue Mountain Jamaican coffee, pouring it as you open up those flowy blinds to a view of the turquoise ocean, and you walk down your balcony and you put your feet in the warm white sand and you move towards that beach water. You put your feet in the water, you say good morning to your little fish friends. Visualize that, okay? That just as clear as that, because when you do, you'll feel better. You'll start to feel happy. You'll feel like you can actually attain it. I read this article a while ago. It was talking about how our brain really doesn't differentiate between our dreams and our reality. And so when you think about like when you have a nightmare and you like wake up in a sweat, right? Or you wake up and your heart is racing, or you have a really nice dream and you wake up and you feel happy, you feel like kind of refreshed because you've had this amazing dream. I had a dream one time that I was on a date with 50 Cent and I woke up so happy. And then I've had dreams before where I like was being chased by some sort of like monster or whatever, and I woke up like freaking out and panicking. So if our bodies are capable of reacting to something we are seeing when we're asleep, then how can it not also react to something we see when we're awake? And what I mean by that is when you visualize, you're feeding these images of what success looks like to you, to your brain and to your body. And so when you do that, your body is going to react. Your energy is going to align to that thing. It's just the power of manifesting, really. It's just constantly keeping it top of mind, right? You're constantly reminding yourself of like, this is what we're doing. This is what we're working towards. And you're shifting your energy to be in alignment with that so that you can better prepare for how to get there, so that you can take the steps. Visualize it on the most simple terms and watch what happens. Watch what starts to happen. Watch the motivation that it gives you. The next one is I consciously stop telling myself limiting narratives. There's this book called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. And in there, he talks about this inner narrator or inner roommate. Basically, it's like this consciousness. It's this part of our brains that is constantly like narrating what it sees around us, right? For me, like that constant voice is also constantly like worrying. It's constantly telling me like what's possible, what to avoid, what feels unsafe, telling me all these limiting like narratives. And so I've had to understand that I have the power to, as this voice is going around, to grab hold of it and, control it, to say, no, I hear you, but I'm not going to let you overpower me. I'm in charge, and I know that I have what it takes to go out here and get what it is I want to get, right? You can separate it from reality. You can acknowledge it for what it is and say, okay, I hear you, but no, we're going this way. You don't want to go this way because it doesn't feel safe, but we're going, pull that voice, pull it over to where you need to be. Don't let it keep you back here. Just be aware of it, acknowledge it, and move forward. Know that you can move forward. Know that you have whatever it is you need. You have all the abilities to go out here and move forward. You have it. You got to tell yourself that. You got to tell that voice that. I ain't listening to you no more. We moving forward. And then the last one is I adopted an enough to go around attitude. Basically, like there's enough room for all of us, right? I'm someone, and this, I don't think I've ever admitted this on camera or out loud, but I'm someone who is very like envious of people who are succeeding in ways that I want to, but I haven't yet mastered. The thing that I've had to realize is that what's meant for me is not going to miss me. What's meant for me is not going to be given to someone else. And what's meant for me will find me in due time. That's it. When I understood that, and when I started to truly believe that, I felt like this weight lift off of me when it comes to comparing myself to other people. I think you can also apply this to my previous point of indirect mentors. So if there's someone out there that you feel envious of, then maybe there's a way that you can look at their success and turn it into knowledge for you, like a source of information. You can study, you know, how they move and how they work and apply that to your life. It's good to study people who have what it is you want, because it's in that you can learn, you know, the path they took to take it, and you adopt that and you do it your own way. Those are all the tips I had, y'all, for this video. I hope that this was insightful. I hope it was helpful. I feel like it was very therapeutic for me to come on here and share this with you guys. So be sure to give me a thumbs up if you took something away from this video. Subscribe to my channel if you ain't already, because I'm telling y'all, I'm coming for YouTube. I'm coming for you, YouTube. You don't know it yet, but you gonna see it soon. I will see y'all in the next video. Until next time, take care, be safe. Million things I can't undo. I just sleepwalk.